Hi, Ruth. Happy Sunday. This, then, will be our day to discuss the more spiritual aspects of the life which lies ahead for all of you still on your side, which I must say I'm glad not to be a part of anymore. We will first consider the aspect of God, the one abiding force which melds all else together. This force or power is so intense that nothing will survive if it should fail for so much as the batting of an eye. It is the glue of the universe, the melding together, the complete atom. It is not, as some would have us think, a spirit, but a force, a tremendous force for good that knows no other than good, for how could bad glue hold it all together? This force or Godhead is the universal truth, the universal good, the universal all in all. But there is room within the orb of this centrifugal force for disharmony and greed and evil. There is some evil in every living thing that falls into disharmony with the centrifugal force. The only remedy is to unite again in perfect harmony, for then there is no evil, no greed, no sickness, no disharmony. Time and again we come back here to learn that simple truth. Disharmony is the root of all our evils. Take a rose and examine it closely, leaves, stem, and petals. Perfection, you say. But wait. Is there not something lacking? Perhaps one missing leaf, one petal curled a bit too much. So do you blame the flower, or the beetle, or the wind, or some other outside influence which affected its perfect symmetry? Something went awry, but what? God created the pattern which all roses were to follow. Therefore he will not be to blame if the pattern is sometimes faulted and error imposed against his wish. So it is with man. God, or this powerful force, if you prefer, gave the pattern for mankind. Each part fitted neatly into other parts, so that the whole was perfection. The first man to appear in flesh on this planet was perfection without blemish. Call him Adam or what you will, he was the creation of the central force that we call God. This man was a thought pattern transmitted by that centrifugal force, but with the advent of other humans, both male and female, strife arose, a warring of the spirits who had lived amicably together before flesh was inhabited by them, but who now quarreled over portions of a land which was so blessed that everything was there in abundance for all to use and develop. This strife created ugly thought patterns, and since thoughts are things, errors began to appear in the framework of human beings. Missing toes, malformed heads, diseased minds, as these spirits continued to return to the flesh, until finally God sent again an example of perfect man in the one we call the Nazarene. Again the perfect being, the pattern without flaw, and some were wise enough to follow him and worship the perfection of this Son of God. Others, as you know, hooted derisively and sought to blot out this perfect pattern by their own lust and greed and evil ways. But we will continue to seek perfection so long as our souls seek the love of God. This is the glue that binds us all to this central force, the power of love. So love one another, love God, and love thyself. Attune yourself in harmony with this all-powerful force.
As the writing progressed from day to day, Arthur so often referred to God as a force that I finally broke in to ask, who or what is God? Do you know more about him now than when you were here in the flesh?
Much more. God is the core of the universe from which all else flows forth. He is truth and energy. He is matter and spirit, and all things of heaven and earth. He is eternity itself, wise and all-knowing, but whether we are aware of it or not, he is also the essence of our being, without which nothing would exist. It is his total harmony which melds together the universe and all therein and thereon, so that without his perfect being the universe would instantly fall apart. God is the eternal I Am. He is so sublime that we are unable to grasp his full. Without God there is nothing and no thing. With him there is truth and light and radiance and total harmony. He is life itself, and because this is true, there is no life or being without him. Thus we are as much a part of him as he is of us, and because we are imperfect in our reactions and behavioral pattern, we must strive ever onward through many earth cycles until we achieve sufficient perfection to rejoin God as co-creators. It is the law, for no imperfect thing will ever have the opportunity to become a part of the Godhead, which would not function properly if full of imperfections. It is the law, immutable. Thus our ceaseless attempts to return to the physical state in order to erase our rough edges, and be able to fit into the Godhead as perfect segments of the whole.
Still puzzled, I commented, "This makes God sound like an impersonal force. Does he then hear our individual prayers?" Arthur replied,
God is total awareness. He not only hears prayer, but knows without being asked what the plea is going to be. He is truth supreme, wisdom all-knowing, and without him there would be only chaotic blackness. He is light and truth and love. He is above all our Creator and our Father, who loves each and every one of us. This I know, and when we approach him lovingly and trustingly, as we would a wise parent, he is ready to grant that which is for our best interests if it harms no one else. Not all prayers are therefore granted, but only those which spring from a faithful and loving heart. He heals, he loves, he comforts, he watches over us night and day and at every season of the year. Ruth, God is all.